Set deck is everything besides the walls in a set, so typically, say in an office, it would be like the desk and the art and everything on the desk and the chairs, or an apartment, it's all the furniture plus the lighting fixtures and carpets and flooring. But there's so many other sets that people tend not to think of, like alleys and dumps and warehouses.
Set decoration department deals with all of the background elements that aren't construction. Fake marijuana plants, grow lights, all these visual elements that aren't specifically constructed for the set.
Well, what we're doing here today is we're shooting a pawn shop as a pawn shop. So instead of creating a pawn shop, we're using an existing pawn shop, but we're adding a few extra elements to make it camera friendly and to block out any advertising that we can't use.
So what we're doing now is called reductive dressing. This is where we brought a few things in, but for the most part, we're thinning out what's existing in this store. A lot of the stuff that has to go is things with logos or celebrities or other things that you have to get the rights for. So a lot of what we're taking out is, you know, pictures of Britney Spears and Bob Dylan and things like that. Basically, the hierarchy within set deck is the set decorator answers to the production designer in terms of what look and what feel the set's supposed to have.
Yeah, through there. And that's why I say, like, if David had, like, something overhead, sort of in these lanes as well, I think that would help.
Because we can just run thick sash cord along the top.
Yeah.
And come right off of there.
Exactly.
Another curtain. The production designer can say, this is what we need for a set, sort of in this flavor. In this case, we need to do a grow operation. I have some references for you. Find out what you can get me. And at that point, we'll collaborate with what's available in town, what I can pull in or fabricate. And if the director sees that and the director of photography see that as something that they're able to shoot.
That looks great. And below them is an assistant set decorator who mostly just deals with the paperwork and the sort of infrastructural stuff. And then below them is a buyer. They've sort of run around town and source things.
Right now I'm doing a pull of some furniture for a few sets, actually, but the main one is a car rental in the next episode. The colors are going to be red and gray in here, so I'm thinking one of these chairs might work. And this is Cannell Production Services, which is one of our suppliers, one of our main prop houses that we come to. They have pretty much everything under the sun here.
Some other places only have modern stuff or just 50s stuff, just lighting, things like that. But you can see at Cannell they have lighting, they have all kinds of hospital stuff, they have tons of tombstones, things like that.
So I thought I lucked out when I came here and saw these red chairs, but they're not going to work, unfortunately, so. I have to go to a real office supply store and see if I can get some from them.
And then the dressers are the people who basically actually carry out the task.
Hey, Kennedy, let's just put the piano hinge on top here.
Okay, cool.
A couple screws.
Because this is an indie, we're driving our own trucks. A larger show at Set Deck, the jobs are quite segmented. Like, there's a group of people that load the truck or unload the truck. There's groups of people that set up the sets or take the sets down and pack things away. And then there's people who are in charge of the lockups and things like that. But on an indie, we basically do everything.
Well, today I'm doing a variety of things. I'm doing a little bit of atmosphere, which is the smoke machine, which sometimes could be props or special effects, actually. I am the on-set dresser. The set dressers come ahead of time and dress the set and make it all nice.
See, take a look at this frame right here. That's the end of the set. So I'd love to frame it like this, as opposed to
Can we
like
pull
this.
the plastic a little tauter?
It would look a lot nicer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Crossing?
I left it clear for lighting.
So I'm the set dresser that takes care of the set while the crew is there. What we're going to do is put another ceiling up, another section of ceiling, because they're shooting up and seeing the light fixtures. Yeah. This is not a step. Thank you for holding me.
The other location we're dealing with today, though, is the Sorensen Chicago apartment, which is a little law office that's going to play us $1 million Chicago apartment. And one of the things we did at first was figured if we painted it down and then threw in different lighting and ran the paintings down, almost like a gallery, we could tie the room together.
So putting all the practicals and paintings on the wall, the fact that the wall is like horrible wall, you know, look at the color. It adds color and texture to it. It gives it depth, right?
We knew what we had to work with, and we knew what we couldn't do, so we just kind of went for it, and it came together. We're which doesn't always happen.
It makes a DP job easier to just have a set, beautiful set that's got a lot of depth and colors and stuff. It's nice. It's very nice.
I've had experience in painting, construction. I can sew. I've had landscaping experience, worked for galleries, hanging art, worked for moving companies, moving things in and out, driving trucks. I think one thing that's really key when you are dressing and driving is to have a really neat truck where everything is totally in order and everything is like piled well and stacked well, so that the people at the rental houses see that you take care of the things that you have and that the things that they're renting you are going to be taken care of as well.
In set deck, I find there's people who come into the business from a lot of different backgrounds. I've worked with set dressers that come through landscaping, people who've been boat builders. There's just a wide variety of creative people.
Set deck is probably the most varied of all the departments in terms of the things that you'll get asked to do. Like, I've done everything from digging ditches to rigging things that are going to hang over people or people are going to hang from. Everything we put up, we have to take down. So you don't want to make yourself a nightmare by overdoing something or not doing it properly and then having to come along later. It's been a long time digging yourself out of the hole.
We often have to improvise a number of things. It's good to get creative people that can work with different materials.
In the phone book, you probably find that most big cities where they shoot a lot of film have props warehouses. And they're a good place to start out if you're interested. They usually have volunteer programs and things like that where people come in and, you know, you probably start cleaning and things like that, putting the props back.
As a set dresser, a big part of the job is putting all this stuff into a set and then making sure it all gets back to the suppliers. So, you know, there's a lot of checking over lists and finding little items and making sure they're there and packing them. And they get those skills from working here as well, because I guess when we're finished with it, they do the same thing. They check it all over, make sure it's all there.
And then you get to know the people in the industry and how they work and how things are done and get to, you know, help people load their trucks and things. It's a good way to start out. It's a good way to meet people, because connections are everything in film.
When we're doing independent shows or small shows, and we need some volunteers, we'll try people out. And usually I only have a volunteer on unpaid for 1 or 2 jobs, and then we start getting them paid. The strange thing about doing set deck is when set deck really works, there's a kind of a transparency. You've created this illusion, and it doesn't look decorated. It looks like you've just walked into some space, and it's seamless.